appoint a young up-and-coming manager in the summer, you buy a couple of new players, you lose one of your star forwards, but you still manage to start the season with 16 points from a possible 18, and you've got a 4-point lead at the top of the championship. I mean, it seems like the stuff of dreams, and it's kind of how we thought our season might go. But not so far. You can't argue, Glenn, that Rob Edwards has done a pretty decent job, actually, in 6 games.
Absolutely not. And after the season he had at Luton last year, when he got appointed at Middlesbrough, I thought, has he done that? He's got the same agent as Ruben Selles. He's got him a job far above what he deserves. But you can't knock it because he's been brilliant, and they've had brilliant results. And anyone who starts with 5 wins and a draw out of 6 games is seriously to be reckoned with. I mean, when we played Stoke a few weeks ago, I think they'd started with it was just 2 wins, wasn't it? And you saw the difference playing a team with confidence against one that didn't quite have it. So it's shaping up for me a little bit like the Leeds game a couple of years ago when we'd lost 4 in a row and it was beginning to look a little bit dodgy, and people were not particularly enamoured with Russell Martin at that particular time because we'd lost those 4 games. And that was the game it clicked, obviously, and we were brilliant in that first half and blew them away. And we're kind of hoping that that's going to be the case, because they should go into this. I think they went into that Leeds game thinking we've really got to perform here, otherwise we're going to go under. Yeah. And they should be thinking that about this game, given the start that Middlesbrough have had. Anyone can win, 2 or 3 games, but to keep it going for 6, it shows that you're doing something fundamentally right. I mean, there's the irony of they sold us Finn Azaz and are now top of the league, and he hasn't done anything for us as yet. So there's that as well. A couple of other players they've got. Matt Targett is there now. He was a player I thought we might have considered at some point before we started signing kids from Germany and Turkey, but we didn't, and he's gone there and done pretty well. They kept hold of Hayden Hackney, which was I think selling Azaz enabled them to keep hold of him. He's done well, and I know they have Luke Ayling, he of the Ayling flop who used to play for Leeds
and Bristol City with good proficiency. He did actually,
and Tommy Conway as well, who's ex-Bristol City, I understand.
From the same village as my girlfriend, my fiance.
Yeah. So I'm looking for you. Get that right.
Corrected.
Yeah. So
we'll correct that in the edit.
So I'm looking forward to Luke Ayling flopping on the ground with no one near him, because that's what he's famous for. But yeah, it's a huge
they got Alfie Jones as well. Once of this parish.
Oh yeah. He's another player who'd walk into our current team at the moment with his sort of like aerial dominance that he's got. So yeah, it's an interesting game for lots of reasons, and we really need a result from it. Atmosphere could get a little bit dodgy if we don't. But
that was the only thing I was thinking about, the atmosphere.
Yeah. So I remember saying all these things before that Leeds game 2 years ago, and we've got to hope that somehow that gets reenacted.
They're not going to be in the slightest bit worried about playing us, though, are they, Alfie? They're coming down with. I don't know if they've got a game midweek, but they're coming down with their tails up, and they probably know that we're going to at least give them a chance or two.
Yeah, well, they haven't got a game midweek, so they've got a full week to prepare for it as well, which obviously falls in their favour. I mean, you look at, obviously, Glenn's pointed out, or you pointed out, sorry, the 4 points top of the table and all this sort of stuff. They've not really been a swashbuckling attacking team on the numbers wise anyway. Their sort of XG and shots is in the bottom 5 or 6 teams in the league, but they've conceded the fewest chances pretty much all season out of anybody. So they're clearly a decent defensive unit. But what they have done since September the 1st is they signed a lad from Slovak Bratislava called David Strelec, who he's got 1 goal for them already. He's a striker for the same price as Saint Sport, Damien Downs. He's got 1 goal already for them in the Championship, and he also scored a great goal against Germany in the international break. And he looks like a really good buy. So they've got a quality defence on numbers. They don't concede many chances, and they've just gone and added somebody who looks like a really good centre forward for this level. So yeah, that's why they're right up there. And it's a massive test. This is why we need to beat the teams like Hull. But the end of the day, Saints have got a good squad as well. We just have to hope for a better performance than what we've seen so far. We can't really talk too much about the team and stuff like that because I think we need to see from Tuesday night and see a lot of what happens and how players react. But yeah, that's Middlesbrough in a little whistle-stop tour.
They have said as well, Steve. I think Rob Edwards said after the West Brom game, they've not quite found their level yet. So he's kind of saying, well, we're doing all right, but like Alfie said, there's still a bit of room for improvement as well. So it's I don't think any of us had them down as being early leaders, did we?
No, I thought they might struggle this season, to be honest. Michael Carrick kind of underachieved, I think, with the squad that he had last season. They've always been able to rely on getting good quality loans in. They've used the loan market really well, but they've just never been able to kind of keep those players beyond that loan period. So they obviously had Cameron Archer a number of years back, and he got 15 goals in the second half of the season to get him into the playoffs. And they've got this young lad from Man City on loan now, who's kind of being eased into the team, I think, but he seems to be kind of earmarked as the next big thing. And Boro have managed to get him on loan, which you kind of think, well, how have they managed that? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on, young Norwegian lad. Looking at sort of fan reaction to how Boro have started the season, does sound as if they've ground out results, and as Alfie rightly said, they don't give up many chances. They've been a little bit unconvincing, I think. They were okay against Sheffield United. I remember watching that when we were in the pub before the Watford game. They beat Sheffield United 1-0. Probably could have been a couple more with sort of misses on the counter-attack in injury time, but they were under the cosh for a fair amount of that game. And that was the Ruben Sellers Sheffield United. So I don't think they're perfect. I mean, and also the reason they haven't got a game this midweek, first round of the Carabao Cup, they got humped 4-0 at home by Doncaster.
Right.
So I mean, that was like 2 games in. You're thinking Rob Edwards is already under pressure. They've beaten. I think they squeezed past Swansea on the opening day. But then you go and then do that in your second game, and already you're thinking, oh God, this might not work out particularly well. But yeah, credit to Rob Edwards. He's steadied the ship, which is something he very much couldn't do, as Glenn said, at Luton last season when they went down. I mean, Luton's still crap. Even having gone down again in League One, they're really struggling. So I mean, maybe it was just the environment. And he's gone to Middlesbrough, and they've had a little bit of a freshen up. Made a couple of interesting signings, and just in key areas. Really, they've not gone wholesale, but yeah, they at least look organised, which obviously bodes ill for us on Saturday at the moment.
It comes back to what we were saying earlier on, though, wasn't it? If he'd have been putting in our manager in the summer, there'd been outrage. We'd have been like, "What on earth's going on?" And you never know, do you? You never know. Predictions League. Here's an interesting one. Over 130 entries last week. Nobody got the correct score. Nobody had us down for a 3-1 defeat on the road. But 6 people did predict we were going to lose. So kudos to those 6. They will get themselves some points. We're going to do our little predictions now. If you want to play along, all you need is your Patreon login. You'll find the leaderboard and how to play on the website. So head to totalsaints.co.uk. Who wants to go first? Glenn, do you want to go first? You were talking about that Leeds game from the last championship season and how things turned around. So that would lead me to believe that you're going to predict a home win for this.
Oh no, it doesn't mean I think it will happen. It'd be nice if it did. But
you set out such a great case.
No, I didn't. I just said it. It feels similar 1 week out. Bearing in mind the results that we've had and going into this game against top of the league or whatever. So no, I do think we have to think we're going to be better than we were against Hull, and we're not going to just capitulate and give away crap goals every time they get in our penalty area. But Middlesbrough being decent defensive and not outstanding attack wise. I think it's a low scoring game, so I'm going to go for the boring old 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 draw. Alfie?
Yeah, I would have gone for the 1-1 draw as well, but I will take the. I don't know what to go for now. I'll take
0-0.
yeah, I can't do that, can I? There'll be a mistake somewhere. I honestly don't know. I'm not just trying to deliberate it. I'll go for a 1-0 Middlesbrough win, which is horrendous. But
Steve?
Yeah, I kind of fancy it'll be a back to basics. Let's just kind of get ourselves vaguely organised type of game from our perspective. It's not going to be a thriller, and it'll have a lot of people getting on the team's back in sort of deep into the second half. But I think we'll get a point out of it, and it'll be 0-0.
Going for the 0-0. All right. As I say, if you're watching live, you can stick your predictions in the comments. That's fine. But if you want to play along with our little league that we do, head over to it's totalsaints.co.uk. You need your Patreon login, and then you can jump on there and see the leaderboard as well. Any other little bits before we finish? In the WSL2 today, Southampton lost at home to Bristol City, still 5th in the table.
The goal scored in one of the last minutes by Lexi Lloyd-Smith, who obviously left Southampton last year.
That's going to hurt a bit, isn't it? That's going to be.
Yeah, she milked it again apparently.
There's beef there for some reason.
Well, I don't think she'll be able to kind of hide behind the excuse she gave this time last year, when she said, "Oh no, I was just worked up and wanted to. I wasn't pointing at anybody in particular."
Yeah.
Not sure that's going to fly this time.
Odd one. Any other little bits before we finish?
Yeah, a couple of little bits. I mean, the under-21s, I did shout out the Burnley game at St Mary's on Friday night. They did win 2-1 again. I think it was Amo-Ameyaw and another goal scorer whose name has escaped me, unfortunately. Moses Cisse. So they're doing really well, sort of top end of the table. And a couple other quick stats on the first team as well. I mean, they're bottom 3 in the league for winning aerial duels, which is a surprise to nobody, obviously. And
who's below us?
Who's below us? I can find that in 2 seconds. Norwich City are by far the worst, and then Sheffield Wednesday slightly worse.
Wow.
Okay.
But yeah, Middlesbrough in the top 6 for area.
Of course.
Also, lead into opposition shots. Saints are second most in the league. So again, sort of coming up with our own ways to put goals.